Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back once again to another Minecraft tutorial. Today we're going to be making a trader or a general goods store. I know it seems like forever since we've done one of these, but I thought it would kind of be a perfect fit for us today since we're actually going to be starting on the main city of Graywatch. Now, I know it seems like we've been spending most of our time over on that side of the river, kind of making a few farm villages and other sorts of towns and whatnot, but since the main focus of this series was actually to create this giant city called Graywatch, it's about time we head over here and start that. So without further ado, let's begin. Now, for those of you wondering how big this is going to be or how much space you're going to need, I'll do a quick little overhead view just so you guys can see sort of the general dimensions. Now, this is a 7x7 square, and then as you may have noticed over here to the left, we have a smaller one, which is just 5x5. And now to begin, you guys can go ahead and take out your spruce wood logs, and as you can see, this is actually going to be right where the door is, so we'll start here on the far left, and wherever I place one block, you guys are going to need to do a pillar of 4. Just like this. So the next one is going to be skipped 3 blocks over to the right, and then you'll place that. Then once again, you can skip a gap of 3 and place that third pillar there. Then we're going to be moving forward, and you'll skip a gap of 3 once again, and then go ahead and move forward 3, place this, and then we're going to start moving left. So that's 1 gap of 3, 2 gap of 3, and then this will be the third gap of 3. And then you can finish it off by placing one more here, and then moving right and placing that final pillar right there. Now, once you've got your building looking like this, you can go ahead and start to connect each one of the pillars with a crossbeam like so. And then once you've got these going all the way around, you can start to put on these little sticky addy bits on the tops of each one of your pillars. Then we're going to switch it up and take out our stone brick full blocks, and you can do a row of these all the way across the bottom. And then on top of these, once you've got those finished, you can take out your cobblestone and just fill in the rest of the wall with this. Now for the windows, these are really going to go wherever you think they look best, but if you really do want to follow me, I'm going to start on the front wall, and I'll place my first window over here to the right. Then moving over to the right side of the building, I'm going to place one more of these over here on the right side of the wall. Then on the back of the building, you'll see we have 3 different sections, and once again, we're going to be moving all the way to the right. And we'll also place one more on this wall, so we're on the left side of the house, and then we'll finish it off by placing our last window right there. After you've got all of that done, we're going to start to add some support to our building. So we'll start off by taking our stone brick stairs, and you're going to place one of these on each one of the pillars just like this, and then above these you can place a stone brick half slab. And once you're finished doing those all the way around the build, you can switch it up and take out your spruce wood stairs and just place one of these under each one of the sticky addy bits. A couple more things you can add onto the first floor just to make it look a little better is a little cover above the door, and that's really simple. It's just 3 stairs like this, and try to face the ones on the outside inward so they have like a cool rounded out effect. And then underneath this, to just give it some support, you can place in some of these fences. And then lastly, to give your first floor a bit more detail, you can take out some stone brick slabs like this and place one of these on either side wherever you have a 3 wide gap. Now if you ever run into a section like this where it's kind of open and then it immediately drops off so you can actually see one layer down, just try to go for something like this, and if you can, break it up by replacing some of the full blocks with either stairs or half slabs, just so it looks a little more broken down. Now, instead of raising this up so it has a second floor like we would normally do, we're actually going to start placing our roof right now. So the first block you're going to place is going to be right here over to the left on this sticky addy bit, so we'll place that there, and then the other one is going to go all the way over to the right. Once you've got both of these down, you can start to raise them up until they meet in the middle, which should be this block. And then go ahead and do the same thing over here to the right. And then once you've got that down, the second place we're going to do this exact same roof is going to be over here. So your first block is going to go right on top of this sticky addy bit, and then the second one, and make sure you get this down right, is going to go right on top of this. And then once again, you can raise each one of those up until they meet in the middle, and it should match up with that one over there. Now, before we move on to something other than the roof, we're actually going to continue placing a few more of them in. So we'll start off here on the back side, and you are going to need to do a little bit of editing, so go ahead and remove that right there, and then we'll place 2 in the middle of each one of those 3 wide gaps. And then once again, you can just place a spruce wood stair under each one of those. And now this shape is probably going to be the simplest out of the 2 designs we're going to use. This one's just going to be a smaller version of the previous one we did. And so that'll just go up like this. And then moving on to the bigger ones, our first is going to be over here on this side, and that's going to start by going up 2 blocks like this on either side. And then once again, we'll go up 2. And then for the final block we put on this, that's only going to be 1. And the other places where you're going to have this is going to be right here. And then we'll do one more on the front on this right side. So just to make sure you guys got everything down correctly, I'll do a quick little fly around so you guys can make sure everything matches up. And after you know everything's correct, what we're going to do is start to make our lives a whole lot easier by just connecting each one of these with a crossbeam like this, and this is just going to help us later on when we add some of the roof design. So for the big one, it's just going to be one straight bar all the way across, and you're also going to want to add one of these so it connects to the smaller roof in the front. Now for this one small one on the back here, what you'll need to do is go up 1, 2, 3, and then make a little crossbeam that connects these two together, and that should also line up with the small roof. And now for these final two, you'll just go 1, 2, 3, and then on this side you'll go 1, 2, and now everything should be lined up. Now once you have all of those connected, we're going to fly around and add even more detail to each one of these little roof shapes. So for the big one, you're going to take out your spruce wood half slabs and fill these in on each one of the 3 wide gaps so they look like this. And unlike the small ones, we're actually going to add a little more in the middle. So take out your spruce wood log, place that there, and then go ahead and add a stone slab on top of that. Then you can take out your fences and just do 3 of these on either side. Now for each one of the smaller roofs, it's going to be the exact same, and it's even going to be a lot simpler. All it is 3 of these and then 3 fences on top. Now that we've got that detail added, we're going to start to outline some of our roof. So to begin with, go ahead and take out your spruce wood stairs, and we'll begin over here on the back side on the right of this big giant area. So we'll start by placing our first one here, and then we'll go left one more just so we have that overhang that we always want. And from there we'll just work our way up to the top, and once we get to that top block, we're going to stop placing stairs, and instead we'll take out a half slab like this and place that right there. Now for our little design, what we're going to do is take out our spruce wood full block, we'll place that right there. Then on the front of that we'll do an upside down stair, and then on top of the stair we'll finish it off by placing a half slab right there. Now once you're done with this, you can go ahead and carry this down on the other side just like we did right there, and make sure you add in your upside down stairs just like this. And one more thing, since this roof is going to be the exact same as this one over here, you can do the exact same thing, but keep in mind, if you want, you can stop once you get to the middle block. You don't really have to go back down on this side over here just because it's going to get covered up anyways by this roof. So hopefully I was able to make that clear enough for you guys, but if not, you can just go ahead and take a look at mine, and you'll see that I was able to make the whole thing until I got to the middle, and then after I got there, I just went ahead and stopped. But anyways, moving on to some of these other roofs, such as the taller ones you see here, what we're going to do for these is start out by grabbing our spruce wood full block, like this, and we'll place 1, 2 like that, so it gets a bit of an overhang, and then once we're there, we'll do the same thing on the other side, and keep in mind you can delete the first one you placed. And then after you've got both of those in, go ahead and take your spruce wood stairs out and do 2 upside down ones like this on either side, and then you can do 2 upright ones as well on each side of those stairs. And now moving on to the top half of this, just go ahead and start placing your stairs until you reach the middle block, and then once again we're going to do that little design that we did for the larger roofs. And also keep in mind you will need to place in those upside down stairs there as well. So back to the design, just in case you didn't remember it, once again it's a half slab, then a full block, then a stair on the front of that, and make sure that's upside down, and then on top of that you can do a half slab. And you'll see that this roof design here ended up being the same as 2 others, one which is here on the back, and then the second one is over here on the front. So after you learn one, you can pretty much get them all, but there is one different one over here. As you may have remembered, the small one we added in quite some time ago, so we'll go ahead and start this one. Really, it's pretty much the simplest of all 3. So to start off, you'll just go 2 spruce wood stairs like this, and then from there we'll work our way up to the top. And once again, even for the small one, we're going to end up doing our little design. So this is a half slab, full block, stair, and then another half slab to finish that off. And then once again, we will go back down on the other side until we connect right there. And I think we may be able to go down one more block. I don't know if that really looks good. It's kind of up to personal preference. I think I'll stick with it. But now you guys are going to be able to place in your upside down stairs. And then really the hardest part about all these is kind of trying to connect each one of the roofs together. So for some, it's pretty much as simple as just adding in 2 like that, but others can be a little more tricky. I think for this, really all you have to do is place that until you get to, I think that one might look the best. If you want to, you could remove that and then place in your roofing material. Let's see, another spot would be this. All you have to do is connect this all the way until you reach this wall here, and then what else is there? I think this one, once again, you can just bring this over until you reach the wall, which would be one more block in instead. And then I think that pretty much covers everything. I guess we do have this. That's really, once again, as simple as placing in one block, but I think that's all. And then one more thing I did notice was above the door. I mean, let's be honest now, this looks a bit awkward, so we're gonna place in 2 more blocks like that, and in my mind that kind of makes it look a little bit nicer. Oh yes, and I forgot to mention, you guys will need to place one more stair right there. But moving on, what we're gonna do now is place a little 3rd floor section on the top. I guess theoretically, if you wanted to, you could end this building how it is right now, as long as you add in some walls and some roofing, of course. But at least for me, so far this build looks a little too short and stubby, so I'm definitely going to add in that upper section, and in the end it should make it look a lot more unique from most of our other builds. Now the easiest way to do this next step is to find the middle of this smaller window here. Once you're there, go all the way until you reach this crossbeam, and then from there go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then after that you're going to skip a gap of 3, moving to the right, and place one more of those pillars in, and you can do the same thing over here on the left. Now that we've got all those in, go ahead and connect them with a crossbeam, just like this, and do the same thing so it overlaps on the middle as well. And then once you've got these 3 blocks in, just go ahead and aim yourself down like this, and place another set of pillars that go all the way up and connect. And the easiest way to really do this is just to make sure you're in the middle of a 3 wide gap each time you do it. Really the trickiest one, I guess, might be here in the middle. So once you're down here, just make sure you align with this window and that pillar right there, and then just go ahead and raise this up all the way. Once that's complete, there will be a couple of things you can delete. So the first one is going to be this crossbeam here right in the middle. You're really not going to need this, so just delete everything in there. And then another thing will be down here in the middle of, or not in the middle, but on the left side of this bigger roof. I really want this to be mainly white stained clay, or for those of you in default texture pack, the white wool, so just go ahead and delete those 2 blocks that I just did there. After that's taken care of, we can start shaping our roof for the very top section here, and we'll begin on this left side, and we'll place another one over here to the right, and then from there, just go ahead and work your way up on either side. There should be a total of 5 of these blocks, and after you've got that done, you're going to place another one, the exact same as that, over here on this side, and you'll do 2 more. One will be on the front middle section, and the other one will be on the back middle. And just to make sure you guys got everything down correctly, I'll do a quick little fly around, just so you guys can make sure everything matches up. And once you're sure everything does, what you can do is start to add some sticky addy bits on the tops of each one of these pillars. Once that's done, you can keep your spruce wood logs out, and what we're going to do is find this block here, and we'll do a crossbeam, so make sure there's 3 above it, and we'll do this all the way around. And if you're wondering what this is going to do, we're actually going to be placing a wall above this. Once again, for this on the bigger roof, you may just want to leave that out, and the backside already has one. This here, you could probably get away with placing one there. And once you've got all of those down, you can take out your wall material. For me, it's going to be the white stained clay, but like I always say for this style, if you're in default texture pack, feel free to just use some white wool or a mixture of the white wool, maybe some gray wool thrown in there. But you can just fill these in, and then we'll carve out our windows later. For our windows, the first one is going to be placed right here on the front, and we'll be able to fit 2 on the back. So you can carve those out in the middle of each one of those 3 wide gaps. And if you're wondering how to fill in all of the other triangle shaped walls, what you'll want to do for the fence ones at least is go on inside and fill those in from the back, just like this. And for the ones without fences, you can fill those in directly like that. No need to kind of give yourself a space. Although I would recommend maybe replacing this block, wherever you have one of these, with a spruce wood log. And if you're wondering on where you should put your windows in some of the triangle shape areas, I'll fly around and show you how I did mine. So for these taller ones, what I did was I placed a double stack window in there, and once you do those, you should notice it has 1 wall block above it and also 1 wall block below it. And for the bigger roof, I ended up doing 2 on either side, leaving the middle row how it was. And for these smaller ones, usually I don't like to place them there, so I left mine blank. And you'll notice there's 2 other sections here and then 1 on this side as well, where I was able to add in a window. One last thing we still need to do before we start filling in most of our roofs is to outline this upper section here. So we'll begin, and they're all going to be the same, by the way, so once you see this one, you should be able to get the rest of them. But anyways, we're going to begin by placing our first stair right there, and then from that we'll just kind of work our way up till we get to the middle, and then we'll go back down on the other side, just like this. And then, as always, don't forget to fill in your upside down stairs, and then on the top we'll do our little design once again. So that's going to be a half slab full block upside down stair, and then another half slab to finish that off. Once you have all of those created, what we're going to do is once again make a cross beam that connects each one of these roofs together, and then we can start kind of designing on top of this throughout the whole build. So in the middle, wherever you have kind of a cross section, you're going to want to place a half slab, and then another thing you want to do right on the block next to each one of the roof sections, you'll place a stair facing outwards like this, but then everything else is going to be made out of a stair facing towards that center block. And the same thing goes for pretty much every single other section around the build. So for instance, this, you'd first start by placing a stair here and then aim the rest of them towards the house like that. And then once again, same thing goes for all the other areas. Now that all of that is done, we can finally start adding in some of our roofing material. For me, I'm going to be using the blue stained clay. But like I always say, if you don't like the look of that, you can always use maybe a different color. Or if you really don't like the look of the full block, you could always try out possibly some oak wood stairs. But there's going to be two types of, I guess, roof designs here. The first one is just going to be sort of stairs like this. They just continue all the way up. And then the second version that you'll run into is an area like this where you have to double stack them. But other than that, there really isn't too much you have to worry about. And they really will end up connecting quite nicely. After you have your roof completely filled in, it should be looking very similar to what you see right here. Now, even though we are so close to being done, there are still a couple sections that I feel we need to kind of touch up on and add a little bit more detail to. So the first one you'll actually see right here, and it's already been done. I just added in a little fence right there, and personally I think that makes it look a lot better. It's just one of those small things that really does add some detail to your build. Now another section is up top here. You'll see I added 2 stairs on either side like this, and just in case you don't notice it, I'll place them once again. And then I also found that if you do stairs underneath each one of the sticky addy bits, that also makes your build look a little bit better as well. And then you may also want to consider placing in another one of these little fence designs here underneath your roof. So once again, that's just a row of the half slabs and then a row of the fences above that. And I believe that's pretty much everything. I don't really see anywhere else. Oh, wait a minute. One of the main things I wanted to do was add some sort of flower pots up here. So we've done these before, so if you know how they're done, you can just skip ahead and to the end of the video if you want to hear that still. But if you don't know how to do these, it's just 3 grass blocks like this, and then you can take out your, where are they, the trapdoors, and use these as kind of the barrier between the grass and the outside air. It really just makes it look a lot better. And then go ahead and place in your favorite flowers there. Or I found another cool design you could use is just taking some oak leaves and then kind of drape these down around the outside of your build. Sometimes you will need to delete one of the trapdoors, but just kind of randomize them up and have them hang down like this, and I find that looks really cool. So you can place one of those there, and then there should be room for 2 of those on the back side as well. So one of them would be on this row and then another one here. But yeah guys, that's gonna do it for today. If you want to see one last thing I put on the back of the build, I will show you that really quick. I was thinking about adding in a balcony, so I just started off by placing in the store. It is a little bit of a different design than the one on the front, so if you want to see how to do this, it's just made out of the fence gates. But yeah, I was thinking about placing a balcony back here since the landscape is so cool. The reason I'm not really doing a tutorial on that is because so many of us have different landscapes that it really just wouldn't make too much sense. I also touched up on the flower pots as well. So instead of just adding the vines or just adding the flowers, I did a nice mixture of both of them. But yeah, overall, I just really love the location of this. I think since a trader or general goods store would be kind of such a wealthy building, it really fits this area quite well since it overlooks everything. I mean, just look at that. You get the lighthouse, some of the towns down there, one of our new buildings that I haven't showed you guys yet, that nice little sunken boat back there that we may get into further in the future if I end up doing another show around video. Also, for those of you who don't plan to watch the interior video, I would probably recommend placing a chimney somewhere back here. I built a building similar to this earlier, and I found that placing a chimney in this area looked pretty good. So if you want to place one in, that might be the best place to do it. But anyways guys, thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. Hopefully it was easy enough to follow. We have a lot of nice builds lined up for this main city, such as like a candle maker or rope maker. But if you have any ideas that you haven't seen mentioned in the past, please let me know, because they're really going to be helpful, because I really want to make this city as big and as massive as possible. But yeah guys, thanks again. Hopefully you did enjoy the video, and as always, I will see you in the next one.